Hey, tone it down a little
Right,
bit,
here we
will you?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Now go home and get your shine box.
Welcome back, everybody, to Go Get Your Shine Box. And interesting evening. Technical stuff. But I think we're going to be okay for a while. I don't know, man. This whole computer stuff just...
It's beyond you, right?
yeah, it's just whatever. But anyway, welcome back to another Wednesday night. I'm Jim in Central Florida, guys.
This is Wednesday Night Hate, and by the way, Joe, your microphone is way too loud, and I'm not digging it.
Oh, well, it's as loud as yours, so I can be louder if you want. Welcome.
That is not my desire. No.
Okay, all right. Let's try to get along tonight, okay?
Hey,
I'll just get along.
I called you on the phone today, and you hung up on me and didn't call me back, so I don't want to hear it.
I was working. Do you know what that means, to work?
This whole work thing is really cutting into my day.
Yes, this is getting out of control.
But,
hey, hello. Anyway, how you doing?
All right. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Is everyone in? The show's about to begin.
Now, Jim thinks we're taking wins tonight, but wait till I throw in my 2 cents.
Well, I tried to hijack the show before we got started, and he already stepped on me because I wanted to talk about Paris burning, but I guess we're not going to be talking about that today.
The pre-show is just like, It's about football. It's about doing to walk. It's about
I'm not sure that you guys are up to the latest thing, but Macron said this is because of social media and video games. This has nothing to do with 10 million African immigrants who have no impulse control. Dude,
all right, okay. Seriously though,
you got the chimp button, man.
You're a little loud. You're a little loud, Paul.
Really?
Yeah, no, seriously.
That is.
Back it down a little bit.
I am impressed at myself. How's that?
But you are correct, sir.
We have been getting complaints.
Of course, I'm correct.
You don't hear that a lot from me, but you are correct, sir.
I'm going to have to use the solo button, I think.
He's going to have to, yes.
We have been getting complaints that Paul's been a little on the shallow side when it comes to volume, so we just wanted to make sure that he's getting his fair share of the decibels.
My voice must be heard.
Well, you're actually real strong today. All right, go ahead, Jimmy. So we won't interrupt you anymore.
Put the decibels into thirds.
Well, my doc gave me these new pills, and it's,
Blue ovals.
Yes.
Anyway, like Groucho Marx once said, half you go that way, half you go that way. The rest of you come with me. Anyway.
That was good. I just got that.
So let's celebrate the wins this week. And what are the wins? Well, we don't get too many of them, with the stuff going on because we have an unwilling media that doesn't want to let us know anything. So this was kind of in your face, but of course, being that they were serious wins through the Supreme Court, it was plastered all over like Newsmax. I didn't watch too much Fox News at all, actually. Just some reruns of some Gudenfelten and him, and the panel. But anyway, and I was going to normally I'd say no particular order, but these are in a particular order, and the particular order is just the way I put them on this piece of paper so that I have the proper links. So, numero uno, for those of you in Miami, Supreme Court strikes down Biden student loan forgiveness program. Okay.
Thank God.
Which was never anything more than a political ploy.
Yeah. I mean, how could you even pull that off without pissing off most of the country? Because what about everybody that's paid for their education? You going to reimburse them?
Forgetting that it's blatantly unconstitutional,
illegal. Yeah.
And by the way, this is Biden v. Nebraska, and it is a 6-3 decision with the female foreigner Sotomayor, the female Kaboingi Bangi, whatever her name is.
Hey! We won't use that kind of language. She's an affirmative action hire.
Yes, the recent affirmative action one, and the other strange name.
Who is that? Jackson
Kabangi
Brown.
Jackson Brown. Yeah.
She
It's Brown Jackson. Actually,
she recused herself from the whole deal.
No, that was the Harvard one. She
that was the Fair Admissions
herself.
Harvard. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
In this case, she accused herself.
Okay.
So she wrote a dissenting opinion that was roundly excoriated for sounding like it was written by a ninth grade Boston high school, Maryland high school attendee. In other words, it sounded retarded.
Yeah, you know what? You're trying to hold the bar up too high, Paul. I mean, for crying out loud, give the girl a break. She's the first affirmative action, black, probably gay, doesn't know what a woman is, 3 named person to the Supreme Court. You know, and you got the bar way up here, like she's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, well, I don't ask for much. All I ask is that they generally be constitutionalists, and
and be able to spell Constitution, right?
And yeah, that would help too. But the people that Democrats put on here are straight activists. That's it.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. There's already pundency, and some of the leftists on the Senate already rubbing their little paws together, putting out the age of 2 of the senior Republican, or if you will, conservative justices. They're already rubbing their little paws together.
I'll bet.
Yeah. If they only died.
Who are we talking about? Thomas and Alito, or
and then this guy actually came out and said, then we can get some activist judges on the bench.
Yeah, well, they've been doing that for 60 years. That's why a lot of the craziness that we've got has been allowed to go forward. But like Roe v. Wade, that never should have gone forward.
No, it's bad case law to begin with. But anyway, this was interesting because, like Joe was saying, this was illegal. Joe Bite Me came out and said, I probably can't do this. Everybody told him he couldn't do it.
Nancy Pelosi said he couldn't do it. Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi said this couldn't be done in a lot of other cases when other presidents were in power as well. So she, as usual, she crawled right up her own butt. And the fact of the matter is, this was, like you said, this is a campaign ploy. This was a lie.
Now they will use it in the campaign ads going forward, and the smooth brain retards on the Democrat side will eat it up.
Yeah, well, of course. They're going to look at it as if we took something from the Supreme Court, took something from them. They're not going to look at it as you weren't getting it anyway. This is, and then the king and queen come out. They look over at the people and say, "We're going to give you cake tonight." And then an hour goes by, there's no cake. 2 hours, there's no cake. They come out the next day and say, "Sorry about the cake. Next week you'll get it." Oh, okay, we're going to get cake next week, and then it repeats, and it repeats, and they never get the cake, but they keep voting for the cake. That's the definition of
let them eat cake.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that. It's like a Shakespeare thing. I don't know.
As a matter of fact, somebody just had a let them eat cake moment in the past week or two. I can't remember what it was about. Of course, the perils of getting old and a lifetime of experimental thoughts.
Experimental thoughts. Yeah, well, anyway, a little history on this. When Biden administration announced the program, it was in August 2022. Okay. So, this
when it was probably about to expire or something?
I'm not sure about that, but Trump administration suspended both repayments and the accrual of the interest on the federal loans. Right.
So it was probably going to expire at that point, and that's when he announced it. That sounds about right, don't you think?
Yeah, and I believe Biden was trying to link this to the HEROES Act, which is an absolute disgrace. But we're not going to get into the deep things. But the HEROES Act was a law passed after 9/11, gives the Secretary of Education the power to respond to a national emergency by waiving or modifying any statutory or regulatory provisions. And that's pretty much what the Supreme Court said. Yeah, that's you're twisting a lemon and freaking orange juice is coming out. I mean, you can't do that. Even the thing. Even Biden couldn't get away with that one. And of course, it's the radical conservative activist judges that are taking the money.
Man.
What I want to know is if you got out of high school and you decided to go into plumbing and you did a 5-year journey, now you're a licensed plumber. Now you got to buy a truck and you got to buy tools. Where's your reimbursement?
Oh, that sounds like Dana Perino. That's exactly what she said.
Really? Oh,
yeah. She said this. She said the same thing. Who's paying for the F-250?
Oh, no kidding.
Well,
Right.
you guys aren't going to like where I go with this. I'm a debt jubilee guy, recently converted, actually, over the past years anyway. As it was in the Bible, we should have that now, debt jubilee, but not just for people who spent millions of dollars at communist, I'm talking about credit card debt, mortgage debt, whatever. Every certain years, there should be a debt jubilee. That's a biblical thing. Look it up.
Okay. Is it worth
And
doing
what
a whole
exactly is it?
you're going to leave us hanging?
Debt jubilee. Oh, I'm sorry. Jeez. I thought I was dealing with grown-ups here.
God.
Debt jubilee, man. Your
Wait,
debts
I
are
can't hear you. I can't hear Paul. Anybody hear Paul?
Hello?
your debts are forgiven.
Okay.
This is-
Why?
this-
Why don't you just say your debts are forgiven? Why'd you have to say Jubilee like it's a candy?
well, I thought everybody knew about this. Jeez.
You can't talk like everybody knows.
Okay.
What
Yeah, no, that's a biblical principle, man. Because otherwise, everything gets fucked up like it is now.
You can't use that word in the Bible in the same sentence.
You're amazing. You know that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I like the way you said that.
I want to have a Jubilee jingle, and I didn't. I can't. You got blindsided by the Jubilee. It would have been cool to have a Jubilee
I'm
jingle.
sorry. It's strange. It's like when you assume that other people know what you're talking about.
I know people in nursing homes that act like
Can you mute him?
I can't. I'm going to have to. I want to claim your 33% of the decibels back.
I want him to show cause before any muting goes on here.
Back off your mic. You're too loud.
We will have a tribunal, and you're going to have to sit this one out.
Okay.
That's a bibunal.
Hey, I am another biblical principle. I am allowed to confront my accusers. All right.
By the way, this was this information I grabbed from the bits and pieces that we read out came from SCOTUS blog.
Okay, that's a good joint.
Yeah, if anybody, you know what, I have to say this, and we're going to jump on because we have a few to go over. Try to look up a topic. Basically like type in try Bing search engine, type in Supreme Court strikes down Biden loan forgiveness. Right, the first 4 pages, CNN. Reuters, NBS, PC, AP,
Propaganda.
Yahoo News, NPR,
yeah, that's
CNN,
a big one.
MSNBC, CNN, Yahoo News. I'm not kidding you. You can't get a unique story. I went 4 pages deep because I was doing a little experiment, and then I was like, screw it. Believe it or not, I hate to say this, Google produced much better, less biased replies. Yeah.
That does not fit with my worldview.
How was Duck?
I like it. It omits a lot of stuff though. But
I didn't even think of SCOTUS blog. I used to follow them until my last account got schwacked. And so now I'm rebuilding since like last week when I got.
How many times has Twitter put you off?
I don't know, somewhere between 7 and 12. Quite a few.
Yeah.
I tend to push the boundaries, in case you're wondering.
We know. I love the fact that when you come back on, you just add the next number, and they haven't picked up on that. But now if they're listening, now they'll know your trick.
I'm gonna open a new Twitter account and call it Hunter's Bag of Coke.
No, we'll talk about that later.
Anyway, next up, Supreme Court rules website designer can decline to create a same-sex wedding website. And I got to tell you that goes in. I would think goes in hand in hand with the cake thing, and how that went.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why can't, if you own a business, you can refuse to service anybody for anything? Why?
Yeah,
I mean,
and this,
what's the deal?
The most promising thing here is that this points our world in the direction of at least segregation. So that, we don't have to, free association and all that. We don't have to associate with those that we don't want to.
Right.
And they don't have to associate with us. And things were better then when we had actual segregation. They call it Jim Crow. And blah, 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 blah.
But here's my thought on this: is that if you are a gay couple that want to use this particular service and the person doesn't want to because you're gay, you should say to yourself, well, I really, if they really hate me that much, I don't want them doing it anyway because they're not going to do a good job. So you move on to somebody that'll do it for you. It's common sense.
Unless you're looking for a lawsuit.
Right.
Yeah, unless you're looking for a fight. You're right.
That is the explicit. I mean, they the same thing with these cake people. They explicitly looked for somebody who would refuse in order to punish them.
They shot.
Right.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, the court ruled 6-3, which is the way they ruled on all this stuff. For designer Lori Smith, saying she can refuse to design websites for same-sex weddings, despite a Colorado law that bars discrimination based on sexual orientation, race, gender, and other characteristics. The problem is that she wasn't discriminating on that. You can't. Your rights don't supersede somebody else's rights. That's where the Supreme Court had to come in for, because obviously there's a First Amendment right to practice your religion.
Yeah.
So these people would go ahead.
It's funny that you say that, because I was thinking, maybe this isn't rights or anything, but you notice how all the these lefties, they get all you hurt their feelings. They have to find safe places, and because you don't agree with them. You're hurting their feelings. And well, what about me? What about my feelings? What about how I feel? What about how I want to live my life? No, but they don't care about that. If they hurt me, they like that. They want to destroy me.
Yes, nobody cares about you.
Exactly. They just care about their ideals. Their narrative, the way they want to live. Hey, everybody should be able to live the way they want to live. They don't want that. They want you to conform to how they think.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole, but to bring that together, you have to go back to probably 30, 40, 50 years, because this is they play the long game.
Yeah.
So if you go back 40 or 50 years, and people disagree with me on this, but it really doesn't matter, because I'm 99.9% right every time I talk, because I researched this crap first. The percentage of professed Christianity in the 50s versus what it is today is opposite, polar opposite. Like, it used to be 10-90, now it's we're maybe 80-20. Now it's the opposite. 80% of the country.
Yeah, and sorry about that record of only being 99.9%.
Well, every once in a while.
Everybody can't be like me.
I also want to mention that it's the same three women, Sotomayor, Brangy, Boingy,
exactly,
and Kagan.
Exactly. But back to my point, when that occurs, the narcissism, and was I talking to you today, Joe? Normally, clinical narcissism is associated with a higher IQ. But that's not necessarily the case. As we see, we have a spectrum, if you will, of narcissism on the very low IQ, and the low IQ is like we were talking about earlier. Anybody who keeps voting for the same demise year over year, after generation, decade after decade, has a low IQ.
Right.
It just does. Because there's no, like I said, there's no disputing that. Why would you do that to yourself? That's like if you hit your head with a hammer, you wouldn't immediately hit it again, and then 3 years from now hit it again, and then 3 years from here, and expecting something different to happen. So they're conditioned. These people are conditioned to only have, and it took this whole time, and then I think the incubation period was during COVID when they all just bloomed. The message went out. It's like the body snatchers, and they all have this attitude. We don't care about you. We don't care. But that's why what's his name? One of Paul's favorite guys, Paul Shapiro, Ben Shapiro's. Facts don't care about your feelings. I think he coined that more or less. But it's true. That's what it comes down to. They don't care. They don't. If they cared, if they were the kumbaya hippies of old, and I'm talking pre-60, the beatniks, not the hippies.
Right.
Everybody'd be like, hey, whatever. Hey, you don't want to do it? This guy will do it. Hey, you want to do it? I'm getting married to a guy. You want to do a website? Nah, not really, man. It's not my thing. All right, cool. I'll find another bone smuggler that'll do it down the street. Whatever. But that's not what they're about now. This is all vindictive evil coming to cancel you, and that's why we have this stuff.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I will thank you not to besmirch my good name by associating that with it. I am not a Shapiro fan. Let's put it that way.
You were just telling me in the green room how much you love this guy, how much you donate to this guy.
Secondly, you're talking about the long game. Well, yeah, this is the long game. It is the longest game extant. This game been going around for a couple thousand years, and their coach, he is the ultimate long game dude. So he jumps from generation to generation.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Yes, exactly. And I will call out you and your freaking Goombas, your Guido freaking dudes. What's his name? Jumping out saying that we're not allowed to watch his movies anymore.
I think he's Sicilian. I don't even think he's Italian.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are throwing him under the bus already, huh?
Oh, you got to be kidding me. I'll put one in his ear.
Welcome to the newest episode of Go Get Your Shine Box.
Yes. There you go, Michael. How's that? Yeah, he's Spider. He was Spider. He was a little wuss in Spider. They got his foot shot by Joe Pesci, and then he put 5 rounds in him. Yeah, there you go, Spider.
Okay.
Anyway.
He should have just taken the shot in the foot, and shut his mouth.
There you go. You should just...
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
All right. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Now we got a good one coming up.
That's a little rough.
Well, hey, last week I had to hit the explicit button because there was too many
well,
F words.
He didn't do the Bible quote in the same sentence, so he skates on that one.
I know. I don't know who pushed that one. Anyway, hey, my favorite out of the wins of the week, if you will, is this next one coming up. And it is the, I'm reading them like I don't know, but, got to do a little drum roll. Of all the effects I have, I don't have a drum roll effect, really? Come on. Let's see.
Really? What the heck, man?
Wait, let me put the mic over to my drum set over here. You want me to do a little roll for you?
Well, that's not really what I was looking for, but that's pretty good time, Joe. Anyway, Supreme Court strikes down affirmative action programs in college admission. So nice. How about that?
Well, I got a couple of problems with this one.
Oh God, I'm afraid to say let's hear it, but let's hear it.
Well, let me just do a quick. Let me do a quick stat.
Thank you. Thank you.
A quick stat read and walk you into it, Paul. So I don't want you coming in cold.
All right.
This is an historic decision. The Supreme Court severely limited, if not effectively ended. I know what you're going to say already. The use of affirmative action in college admissions on Thursday by a vote of, guess what? 6-3.
6-3.
Yes, the women were left out of this one, I guess. The justices,
didn't Kabangi Boingi
accuse herself?
Okay, she recused. Okay, yeah.
I'm saying accuse as a slur, but anyway.
Right, yeah.
The justice ruled that the admissions program used by the University of North Carolina and Harvard College violate the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause, which bars racial discrimination by government entities. How about that?
So the administrator up there at the Harvard, her name is Gay, I think. She says that don't worry because we'll figure out another way to get around it. So we're going to continue. We're going to break the law in a different way. We don't care what the Supreme Court says. So there you go.
Yep,
Well, let me throw out a couple of things here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In 1996, California passed a law making it explicitly illegal to do this, take race into account. Now, what do you think? What do you think the inclusivity ratio is in California? Probably the highest in the nation.
Probably.
So they will try to go around this.
Yeah.
Secondly, this was oddly enough, it was Asian Americans. Okay, first of all, if you got a hyphen, you're not American. All right, you don't belong here. Everybody out, back to their own damn sandbox. That being aside, now that I got my racism, what's the other word? Xenomorph, whatever.
Shut up, racist.
Shut up, racist!
The interesting thing here, one of the interesting things, is now, I don't remember which group, they brought a suit against legacy admissions. Now, if they can bounce legacy admissions, the wailing and gnashing of teeth that you would hear,
right? None of that is linked to any of the protected species, if you will.
No,
but no, they're going to bring it. They're going to bring it because it's a spiteful suit. Yeah. Oh, they're definitely going to do it. Yeah.
But I mean, is it legal?
Yes, you're going to lose bigly. Yeah. That's it. It's equivalent to. For crying out loud.
Because that's really the thing. If it's a, if it takes government money and it's illegal, then this could wind up really screwing some people over.
Well, the thing with the legacy thing is there's no basis whatsoever that the legacy law rule in the colleges have anything to do with anything other than a previous. What's that word? And if your father was in, you're in. That type of thing. But they're going to have a hard time trying to link that.
You know what's going to happen here is that it's going to slowly turn into where a Harvard education isn't worth a damn.
Right.
Doesn't matter. You might as well just get it at your local college. These Ivy League colleges, they're just going to collapse. They're not going to have any meaning anymore.
Yeah,
we should take the win because they don't want to do this.
I've already heard, corporations coming out and saying that they wouldn't hire anybody from one of these colleges. If you have a Harvard education, we don't want you.
Yeah, the problem is, unless you're from Harvard or Yale, you're not going to be a federal judge. You're not going to be a congressman or a senator. You're not going to be working in Washington D.C. think tank. You know what I mean? And that matters because these are the corrupt, inept.
We have to do something to our government. We have to end our swamp. We have to eliminate the swamp by hook or crook.
Yes, drain the swamp.
They need to be gone. We don't need to drain the swamp. We need to eliminate the swamp. We need to fill it with concrete. Well, that's what we need to do.
Hey, I got good news for you. Thanks to Joe Biden, Victoria Nuland, and what's his name there, stupid Blinken.
We should have a nuclear war at any time now.
We should have nuclear weapons incoming, which will vaporize the swamp. And all within, 10 kilometers or whatever.
No, they'll all head for the mountain. They'll all be locked
when they're in that
mountain.
I'll be the guy outside with the taped up rifle with the one eye hanging out in the jaw. Hey, you come out! I'm going to get you.
Yeah,
well, what's the silence for?
They don't want to go to those mountains.
Hello,
trust me.
Did we lose Joe?
I guess it's just me. I guess I'll have to finish this up because looks like Jimmy and Paul left. So what are we going to do?
What the heck are you talking about?
Yeah, you're here, but I can't hear you at all.
Great.
Let's see, Jimmy. is restarting. What's going on with Paul? Paul is typing something. What's going on, Paul? Okay, fix your shit. That's what he's saying. Nothing wrong with mine.
Yeah, I don't know, but I hope we're getting all of this stuff, but we shall see.
Okay, so
Amateur hour.
no. Admissions, the Harvard admissions.
Yeah, the Harvard admissions. I mean, just talk for let me just do one sentence. We can end it after this, but this I thought was pretty interesting. Justice Sotomayor, a graduate of Princeton and Yale, who once called herself the perfect affirmative action baby, dissented in an opinion that was joined by Keegan and Jackson. Sotomayor emphasized that the majority's decision had rolled back decades of precedent and momentous progress, and cemented a superficial rule of colorblindness as a constitutional principle in an endemically segregated society. She's a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah. Okay.
Unbelievable.
Well,
anyway.
so are the others.
I didn't really hear anything Jimmy said, so.
Well, one good thing, he was reading off some of Kagan's dissent, but one interesting thing here is that this could bleed over into business practice. And if we can get rid of affirmative action in business hiring, man, this could change the world. Imagine, not being afraid when you see that you've got a black airline pilot, or, your sphincter not tightening up when you go in for a doctor's appointment and it's
and black... it wasn't affirmative action. It was, based on talent.
Well, you never, you're always guessing,
Right.
So.
Well, we had a couple technical problems, but we'll cut it short. Maybe make this an A and a B, or a part 1 and part 2. But we touched on the 4 main wins.
Yeah,
definitely. So
that's what we came here for. I don't know if we need to do another. We got World War III coming up next week, so let's focus on that one. Heavy on that one. We got the NATO thing in Vilnius. Well, what was Joe? You wanted to mention something at the end of this podcast. I can't remember what it was.
I don't know. This has gotten me all thrown off right now. So I'm ready to sign off.
All right.
All right, everybody, take it easy. Have a good night. We're out.
Good night, folks.
All right. Talk to you later.